look at this computer. Cable management, you know what? Far from the worst I've ever seen. They took the time to route the front I/O cables around the back of the motherboard tray, and actually, same goes for the 24-pin, the 8-pin, and the 6-pin GPU power connector, but there are a few eyebrow raisers in here. I have never heard of this brand of power supply, the Baisuo CX650, that manages, oh, that's scary, a whopping 384 watts on the 12-volt rail and is rated for 500 watts. That is a very deceptive name, Baisuo. Oh, and also, it is only rated for 220 volt AC input. How are we gonna power this thing? Oh no, we have that sketchy adapter Alex bought. I knew that was coming.
Yep.
For those wondering, by the way, we did try it with North American 120 volt wall power, and it did work for a little while. So their universal AC input from 150 to 264 volts is misleading at best when there's up to 47 countries that it won't even power up in. Also, we're pretty sure we were supposed to get a GTX 1070, not a 1060, but the page disappeared in between the time that we ordered the product and when it arrived, meaning that I guess that practice also takes place on domestic Chinese sites. The SSD is supremely unremarkable, other than being so no-name brand that we weren't even able to find a listing for it. It's 256 gigs, and Crystal Bench clocked it at around half a gig on both reads and writes, which is about what you'd expect. What you wouldn't expect is this RAM. Both are DDR4 as advertised. Both of them use Samsung chips, which is good, but one of them comes from a Lenovo pre-built, and the other one seems to come from some kind of network switch. The bad thing about that is it means these are almost certainly secondhand. The good thing, though, is it means they're almost certainly not counterfeit. Because why would you go out of your way to put a random third-party sticker on it when Samsung is what's going to sell it as quality? Anyway, it's DDR4, 2133, and it's ECC, which raises some questions about the rest of the components. You see, ECC memory is for servers, and this motherboard is like no server motherboard, or really any motherboard that I've ever seen before. It is neither as short as an MATX board, nor is it as long as an ATX board, and in fact, the mounting pattern on it is so unusual that only 6 of the 10 holes were able to be screwed in this case. What are you? To find out, let's get it fired up. Look. Sorry, this isn't really supposed to be part of the video, but look how short the cord is on this mouse. How the heck am I supposed to plug this in? Like I'm trying to, oh, we never talked about I/O. That is a lot of USB 2 for a modern motherboard, which could be foreshadowing. Moment of truth. Whoa, that is a gigantic American Megatrends logo.
I don't know how you got into that BIOS, because every time I've tried to get into the BIOS with a USB keyboard, it hasn't let me. I've had to use a PS2 keyboard. That really throws a wrench into that thing.
Xeon CPU. Well, that explains the whole ECC memory bit. That doesn't tell us the full story of this motherboard, though. We'll get into that later. PCIe Gen 2 only? Overall, nothing too weird in here other than NVMe configuration. A platform this old shouldn't support NVMe devices, and yet there it is. This is weird. Oh, is this just an external drive we don't have plugged in?
No, if it's Synaptics.
Synaptics? Why does it have Synaptics drivers? Oh no, it's in Chinese. Hold on, I can do this. Device manager, crap. Oh, actually, this is useful too. I'll get to that later. Device manager, crap. Device manager? Crap. Device manager.
Why don't you try just opening the start menu and typing in device manager?
Why don't you try minding your own business? No, I mean, no, I know other ways to do it. I want to guess it. No results for device manager. Okay, hold on. Properties. Yes. Oh, it's still all in Chinese, except network adapters for some reason. That's all English all the time. Let's go back to system properties. 32 gigs, Xeon E5 2680 V4. 14-core chip. That's not the fastest by modern standards, but hey, 14 cores is 14 cores, and that would be what? Haswell generation? So should even be fast enough to game, especially if you don't have a super OP GPU.
One ongoing problem that has kept happening with this is that it doesn't like when you just kind of plug a network cable into it when it's already on.
Oh, what? What a piece of shit. But hey, at least it has rocket ships for arrow keys. Wait, I was mistaken. Products formerly Broadwell, so a slightly more tuned 14nm chip from Intel. Retailed for $1,700 back when it was current. It's not so much anymore. Speaking of current, what on earth is this presumably web browser icon? Everything we installed is over here on the right, while the pre-installed software is over here on the left, and I guess in the start menu, no, there's basically nothing there, which raises a couple of questions like, where is Microsoft Edge? Nowhere, it turns out, because the system is running a cracked version of Windows 10 Enterprise. That might also explain why we booted straight into an admin account rather than being prompted to create an account and a password. As it turns out, this piece of software is called 360 Secure Browser, and it's made by, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this, Qihoo. They often brag about having a high install base, but in actuality, it seems more to do with the fact that it comes bundled with Qihoo 360, which is kind of the Norton of China. Naturally, it's nearly impossible to uninstall, to the point where the US has accused Qihoo of acting as spyware for the CCP, particularly during the Xinjiang incidents. There's otherwise nothing remarkable about the Windows install, and while we didn't go out of our way to monitor for it, it doesn't seem to be calling home in any particular way. LTT Store! Our Black Friday deals are going all weekend, and today... Shall we play some video games? That is not a lot of FPSs. 60, yep. 65 at the 1% lows. Give it a sec, she's settling. Oh, actually that's weird. It's not bad according to FrameView, but it feels awful. 79 FPS, 1% lows. This should be more than okay. You know what it probably is? It's gotta be the terrible mouse. Let's see if it can handle something a little more demanding. Not bad. Not bad at all. Medium settings, 1080p, solid 60 to 70 frames per second. I mean, this is absolutely playable. I mean, you might not be playing Starfield or anything like that, but if you keep your expectations realistic, this is an awful lot of gaming per dollar. So it works, but let's fire up hardware info and see if there's anything else we can learn about it. Well, one thing we learned is the CPU temperature monitoring isn't accurate. Actually, neither are a lot of these numbers. And another thing we learned is that this motherboard is even weirder than we thought. Notice anything about the CPU chipset? Yeah, me too. You see, B85 was designed exclusively for LGA 1150, Intel's 4th generation core consumer product. It shouldn't be possible for that to be paired with an LGA 2011 socket. That's designed for servers and high-end desktops. Also, B85 motherboards used DDR3 RAM and lacked support for NVMe storage drives, and yet here they are, plain as the LTT underwear on my nether regions, lttstore.com. We may never know exactly what's going on here, but what we can do is take some educated guesses. You might have encountered these videos of people reclaiming old chipsets from dead or useless motherboards using an angle grinder. And the B85 chipset, along with its other 8 series siblings, was widely used in office pre-builts like the Dell Optiplex or the Lenovo ThinkCenters of the early to mid-2010s, meaning there are millions of these chips out there in machines that businesses will literally pay to have removed. Sounds like a business opportunity. But who would want a piddly quad, or worse, dual-core CPU these days? If you could modify the capabilities of the chipset to create a low-cost board that could support a more powerful workstation CPU, then obviously that would take some extra steps, but it seems that there's a very active community of Russian tech enthusiasts that are doing just that. Not only using these boards, but actively developing for them. There are thousands of pages of forum posts and wiki entries covering custom BIOSes, overclocking tips, and general quality of life improvements on motherboards very similar to this one, all in Russian. This could be driving not only additional sales of these boards from people that stumble across these resources, but also an improved out-of-box experience for them if sellers of these systems are updating their products using the work of these forum and wiki posters. Judging by the date of the BIOS on this system, that could very well be the case. Chipset repurposing has been going on since at least Computex 2019, when I bought a motherboard on the trade show floor that the seller claimed used a brand new X79 chipset, only for me to discover when I got home that Intel had, as I suspected, discontinued production of X79 years prior, meaning that it was almost certainly harvested just like this B85. At that time, however, I guess the market for these things was.
The following footage was posted by Rochelle G, who had caught something disturbing while exploring an abandoned house. The house used to belong to a happily wed couple who were known as the Evinrudes. But then one night, something very tragic happened to the couple. Mr. and Mrs. Evinrude were relaxing at home when out of nowhere, an intruder breaks in and kills them both. The couple's family was devastated upon hearing about this. They decided to not sell the house out of respect for the couple. But after a while, they decided to rent out the property. However, renters complained of strange occurrences, some of which are just creepy. From drastic temperature changes to seeing shadow-like figures standing outside their window, renters had enough reason to leave the place. The house has been abandoned ever since. That is until Rochelle goes inside and begins to record. She hopes to capture footage of the strange occurrences reported by tenants. But little does she know that something very unsettling would be caught on camera. This is what she caught. Rochelle continues to explore, but something downright creepy is caught on camera without her noticing. Be sure to pay close attention or you'll miss it. As Rochelle pans the camera to the door, a silhouette of what appears to be a hand can be seen in the corner. It is only seen for about a second before quickly disappearing behind the doorway. Rochelle walks over to where the hand was spotted, but when she gets there, the space is empty. Now that's creepy. Now what's even more unsettling about this is the fact that the hand appears at the spot where Miss Evinrude had been found dead. Could it be that Miss Evinrude's apparition was caught on camera, or was something else caught instead? Perhaps this might have been a squatter who was spying on Rochelle, but given that the space where they were seen is cornered with no exit, it isn't certain as to what exactly was captured. One thing's for sure though, Rochelle doesn't plan on coming back to this place, as what was seen on footage has left her spooked. This next video was posted on YouTube in 2010. However, the channel on which the video was uploaded has been deleted for unknown reasons. The video shows footage of an 8mm film. Now at first glance, the footage appears to be normal, but there's actually something very odd about this clip. The person who uploaded the video states that his dad had found this footage in his garage. His father states that his dad had shot this video at a secluded forest during a family trip. It was shot 40 years ago, and it was just recently that he noticed something strange in the footage. According to him, an old lady appears in the background. Yet, he is certain that no one was there at the time of this recording. After all, the video was taken in a secluded forest with no one else around. Take a look at this clip and see what you think. In the background, there appears to be someone standing not too far from the family. They seem to be observing the family while standing completely still, which makes them come off even more creepy. Because of this, the father thinks that a ghost was caught on camera instead of a person. But of course, it's not certain if that's the case. Until we know what exactly was caught on camera, the footage remains a mystery. Had a ghost been caught on tape? Or was something else caught instead? The following video doesn't have much info, but like with most videos, this one speaks for itself. The video starts off with two employees who appear to be working late at night. One of them, who's named Curtis, states that the building at which they work is haunted. Lots of strange occurrences have taken place inside this building, but it's the second floor where most activity occurs. As Curtis talks to his coworker, a strange noise is heard on the second floor. Knowing that one of them would eventually have to check out the noise, Curtis volunteers to go upstairs. But as soon as he arrives, he seems to regret the fact that he chose to go alone. It isn't clear why Curtis brought a camera with him, but it might be that he wanted to capture footage of something paranormal, considering that the building is said to be haunted. As Curtis walks around the floor, he captures this.
One by one nelo kagul kan no inu one kaway ha inu ka mga tabani ho kan no.
It appears that Curtis has caught someone or something hiding inside one of the rooms. It wasn't until later that he noticed the dark figure when looking back at the footage. What makes this even more creepy is that whatever this was had vanished before Curtis walked inside to check the room. Just like viewers, Curtis has no idea as to who or what this could have been. Now, this wasn't the only thing that was caught on camera. Curtis had caught something else without even noticing. Early in the video, as he passes by a door, there appears to be another figure hiding from Curtis. Could this have been the same figure from before? Or was it just a piece of furniture? It's unclear as to what this might have been, but because this place is believed to be haunted, it might be something else. But of course, feel free to share what you think. What exactly had Curtis caught on camera? If you caught something creepy on camera, or if there's any ghost videos you'd like me to check out and include in the next compilation, you can send them over to scaryvideos444@gmail.com. That being said, let's get back to the video. Maria Flores had posted the following video and states that the footage isn't hers, but rather someone else's. According to her, someone had sent her the video with very little information. Now the video itself is pretty creepy. The person who sent it states that their sister-in-law was recording a video at a carnival in Africa. However, something very strange was caught on camera by the sister-in-law who shot this. It wasn't until later that she noticed what she had caught. Pay very close attention to this one, or you'll miss it. In the background, among the crowd, a faint image of what appears to be an apparition is caught on camera. As you can imagine, the sister-in-law who shot this must have been left disturbed upon seeing this. But if there's one thing she's sure of, it's that this video still keeps her up at night. The following video was shot by Sierra Rose, who had paid a visit to an abandoned asylum. According to her, there was an overwhelming sensation of sadness and dread that she and her boyfriend felt while exploring the place. She also adds that they felt an intense energy surrounding them. The footage shot by Sierra might just prove that there was something there with them. This is what she caught.
I'm freaking out. You guys, you guys,
A shadow-like apparition is seen moving on camera. The figure moves from left to right before quickly disappearing. Sierra believes that a ghost was caught on camera. Viewers think so too, but as with most videos, it's not certain if that's the case. As always, I leave it to you to come up with your own conclusion on this footage. Rewatch the clip and see what you think. The following image was submitted by Tulsa Polk, who writes, "A really good friend of mine had sent me this photo, but I kinda wish they hadn't, because I can't stop thinking about it. The photo they sent me shows two friends who are posing in front of a camera. If you look really closely behind them, you will see the part of the picture that I can't stop thinking about. Here's the photo that was sent to Tulsa. As with most images, this one doesn't have much info, but it seems pretty obvious as to what's happening in the picture. However, I have no explanation for whatever this is. It's hard to make out what this is, but it seems that a bodiless head had been caught in the background. This might be due to pareidolia, but the more you look at it, the more it seems like an actual head. I don't know, but whatever this is, it's pretty creepy. If this isn't the stuff of nightmares, then I don't know what is." Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.